Presented by That Time I Got Reincarnated in the Same World as an Anime Podcaster, this is Shonen Jumping the Gun, the show where we set our sights on the first chapter of a manga and decide if it's a misfire or a bullseye.
Let's see how many rounds are in this magazine.
On today's episode, A Tale of Magic and Ink. This is Witch Hat Atelier. Welcome, everybody. I put on my cloak and witch hat. It's Moxidine, here with my master of wizard swears, Iksai Scrub.
Indeed.
Isekai Sensei Sama Brad.
Wait, how long do I have to wait before I fuck all that shit?
It's wizard swears.
I'll bleep those two.
There you go.
Later on, I'll swear for real.
Yeah. That's why I said he's the master of it. And today we are continuing what I'm at least currently describing and maybe described differently in the episode that was the week prior to this because time, right?
This is a episode.
This is a episode in what I've deemed the last democracy arc.
It's the fan choice arc.
It's the fan choice arc, but a lot of the initial options for choices came from a particular fan.
A lot.
And then the fans voted on which ones of those they wanted.
As in all of them. I would say one of our biggest fans.
I would agree with this. This is why...
Top three, I
This
think.
is why her name gets into the end. That's why it's the last democracy. Right?
Yeah.
It's democracy. But there's a flavor on it. It came from somewhere. And from that, we are covering Witch Hat Atelier, which was such a word that I've read so many times and never thought about, not knowing how to...
I read multiple series with this word in it, and I've never taken the time to figure out how to properly pronounce it.
Having Google say it to me, I was like, there's no way. There's no way I can do it. And then I did it. There's other Japanese words I've struggled with more. And it just, I think it was just, I could do French a little bit more of that. Atelier. Like it just made sense in my mouth then once I Frenched it up.
You have to forget about the R at the end.
Yes. It's very strange. But no, we are covering Witch Hat Atelier, which was written and arted by Kamome Shirahama, who I found in Googling for them, had done cover art for a few Western American comics for Marvel and DC, and some designs for Star Wars media, which was neat, because I don't think we've ever seen an artist that had such a specific, like, Western experience, which I could see with the art for this one, because this one had a very European feel to it.
Yeah. It does seem that, like, most of the time, it's very siloed. It's like, Japanese people do Japanese things.
Yeah. Or at least the ones who aren't doing that are not people's manga we're reading. But no, Witch Hat Atelier was started in July of 2016 and has been running until now for about 14 volumes at time of recording. And an anime is set to release sometime this year, 2025, unless that already happened and Wikipedia didn't know about it.
Wait, did it?
But I wouldn't have known to look for it because I'm only now interested now that we have read this. But I know I've heard this name tossed around.
By the time this episode comes out, it probably came out.
It actually very true, yes. Thanks, Jump. And before we get into my Moxie's manga Mach Speed summary, I wanted to make sure I got what an atelier is.
Well, so just real quick, since you were talking about how this got started and running and everything, important to note, this series is on K-manga.
Correct. That is where I read the K-manga version.
So most of the stuff that we've covered is either on Viz, so either Shonen Jump or just Viz as a whole.
Yeah. I mean specifically the Viz. Well, actually,
or it's something that's been scanlated from some magazine somewhere in Japan that you can't actually find a legal copy of.
So far, all the ones that I have read from the arc have been in K-manga.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But an atelier is and I quote, a workshop or studio, especially one used by an artist or designer, which will become important at the end of the summary. Woo, let's get into it. Is an athlete always an athlete, even from birth? What about astronauts or pop stars? You can't know what you're going to be until you grow up, right? So what about witches? Is it the same for them? Chapter 1, where we see a gorgeous half-sketch, half-painting spread of a girl in a river near a deer. I just wanted to take a point now and just say, I love the art in this. The art in this is beautiful, especially that spread page. There's very few times when a spread page, like even though it's like the biggest art page, actually like hits me and I go, wow, that is a really pretty image.
There's plenty that look good, but not as many that are just outright beautiful.
It's nice having, it's not the same art style, but it reminds me of Bug Ego, where it's just like, I turn a page and I just go, wow, and I'm just dumbstruck by something. She's cleaning pans in the river. It's a magic spring, she tells the deer as she cleans.
I think it's clothes.
No, it's pans. It's multiple pans.
Is it?
I thought that's what it was.
I thought she had a pile of clothes.
I thought she had a bunch of pans.
Well, one of us wasn't paying enough attention.
One of us paid more attention than the other. I remember because I was just like, because I know when I went back to reread it for the summary, I was just like, oh, she must have been having clothes, but it's like, because it's the one big bucket. But there were other buckets than I saw in the shot, so...
Okay.
Come tell us in the Discord comments that both of us are stupid, but mostly me. But no, she's in there. I think she's cleaning pans. She might be cleaning things, but she tells the deer it's a magic spring, but also hopes she does not scare the deer away because the deer is cute. Magic is amazing, she exclaims. The world is brimming with magic, and it's hard to imagine a world without it, but she has no idea how it actually works. Only witches can cast spells. Everyone else just hopes to bask in the power of those spells. We see the young girl sitting atop her home in a field thinking these thoughts. What if I was just born a witch? She play acts causing the drying sheets to take flight. And they do, but it's from the wind. Oh no! In trying to grab them, she sees a flying Pegasus carriage come down and land. Gotta go get Mom! When she heads inside, she runs into a strangely dressed man, and then a trio of noblewomen looking over their textile wares. The man clarifies he is not with them, but he's also there to buy specific cloth. We learn that girl's name is Coco, as her mother handles the business. Coco pipes up that she could help cut the fabric for the man. Coco really wants to take a look at the carriage, but is warned of the dangers of damaging it. You don't have magic that can just fix it. The strange man watches her very accurately measure, mark, and cut the cloth, remarking on her concentration and steady hands. It's some real magic, he says. No. It's not magic. I'm not magic. Coco freaks out. Magic is amazing and beautiful. I'm just... this. The man inquires on her love of magic. Well, when I was really little, Mom took me to a festival at the castle. I bought a slim picture book from a masked witch who described all the amazing things magic did for their daily lives. Coco's mom was annoyed she wasted the money on a silly book, but wait, it came with a special pen. She says she wants to grow up to be a witch, but Coco's mom tells her that's not possible. You have to be born a witch. Us commoners don't have what it takes. The trail intrigues the man, who could have been selling the books, but a commotion outside draws their attention. Some local boys knocked over and damaged the Pegasus cart. What was up with that? Because it's like, even if they're messing around, it's like down the hill on its side, like damage. It's like, did they startle the Pegasi and then they like?
It's sort of hard to tell, but the way the carriage works is that there's two big wheels on the front of it, and on the back there's a big wheel, but it's not actually a wheel. It's more like a levitation thing.
Okay.
And I presume what happened is they were poking and prodding at it and somehow unseated this thing, which knocked the whole thing over.
Oh, like like a magical break.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense because it was like, what were they doing within 10 minutes time? I guess it's a little more because we cut through time of them are inside. She's cutting the cloth and stuff like that. But
cut to cloth.
But it's like they do it even though she was warned to not do that, but then somebody else did. The nobles are furious, but the strange man offers his services. He is Keyfrey, the witch at your service. He can fix it, but it must be done indoors. Coco's mom allows them to use their workshop. Coco is so excited. I finally get to see a witch cast magic. Keyfrey gets her attention. I need you to watch the door so no one peeks while I cast my spell. Her spirits are crushed, but she complies. Magic is everywhere. What is there to hide? Those boys from before try to climb the house and peek, and Coco makes chase to drive them away, but then she notices an opening on the roof and goes inside, drawn to seeing the spell. She sees... Now I'm self-conscious about saying it because my brain keeps getting the wrong thing. Keyfrey. Mm-hmm. She sees Keyfrey drawing? Magic isn't cast with words. It's drawn. Keyfrey finishes and goes to leave. Information on that bookseller must wait for another time, he thinks. Coco wants to go with him, but then her mother says she's already lost your father. She doesn't want to lose you too. She promises not to leave, but must try something. She takes the book and pen and begins to draw the sigils she sees, and the spell happens! A light appears. Another spell catches fire. She keeps trying to draw them, better and clearer. We see Kifrey sleeping elsewhere. What is up with that child in that picture book? Back in the bedroom, Coco is still sketching spells, and then Kifrey appears and grabs her out of the darkness before a large explosion happens from the spell. What kind of magic did you draw? He barks at her. She was just tracing what was in the book. They are outside, and in the chaos, Coco's mother comes out and is turned to ice. Kifrey explains that is why magic is a secret.
I think it's crystal, but yeah.
That makes more sense than ice, but because of like why it would be easier to turn her back, and it's like she'll just melt and die or whatever. Kifrey explains that is why magic is a secret, to prevent things like this happen when people are in over their heads. Those who find out have their memories erased, which freaks Coco out. She wants to remember this. Save my mom and don't erase my memories. Kifrey's curiosity in the book and the sigil that came from it still draws curiosity. I just wrote curiosity twice. What are you doing, Moxie? You must have the will to study and become a witch.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Curiouser and curiouser. I am Curious the Witch. This was super delightful. The art did a lot. I feel like an anime could only disappoint me in what it looked like, because this is just such a children's picture book.
Yeah, up until
in the most like wonderful, joyous, warm way.
Yeah, I was very happy and filled with warmth up until that one part.
I kind of like that it's the big explosion. I like that her part of me is like it gets rid of her mom. So she can go on this
adventure. Yeah, it's an inciting incident.
And it allows her to, it frees her up to go, but it also gives her reason to become a witch so she can then free her mom. She has to remember the sigil she drew to then undo it. But the book got burned in the process, so I think these are details I didn't specifically capture, but now I can capture now. But in that sort of old storybook way, it's I like that it was kind of it hurt and was messy, and it wasn't a very clean, it's and then they solved the problem, and then her mom said, it's okay that you leave me behind. It was I liked that it was we hadn't really finished about her leaving or not, and now she's turned to crystal, and it's kind of painful, and it's messy. It felt very old school.
I think because Coco's so young, that inciting incident hurts me more. If she was a teenager who had some level of rebellious streak of I want to go out and on my own kind of thing, I think it wouldn't hurt me so much.
Yeah, it's definitely it's very much mother and child, especially of the timing. I mean, it works for the thing. It was a little bit. It's as soon as she thinks about it, it's just I lost your father. I don't want to lose you. And it's come on, Mom. I know you don't know what's going on, but come on.
Problem solved, Mom.
That's what I think.
You won't lose me.
That was a certain thing. It's one of those. It's the weird thing of these stories where it's just well, Mom needs to suffer because she's going to leave or there's no story.
Yeah.
That's kind of, it's the problem of it, but it's this is the emotional thing, but it's we've done enough of these stories where it's just I'm glad you got out of the way. As soon as she turned to Crystal, I felt bad for a moment. I'm well, now we get to go become a witch. Clean my hands of that. Which is it feels very a crass and heartless thing to say, but it was very just I want to go to the witch making fireworks factory.
Yeah.
And I can't do that if Mom's guilt tripping me at home. Even if it was justified. But no, I really enjoyed this. I loved the art. I loved how ink. Very akin to what it is. How ink pen it is. Mm-hmm. It's really hard. I hate that it's really hard to not think about Harry Potter when it comes to being somebody who didn't have magic and then getting taken away to a school that you get to learn magic at.
That didn't cross my mind once.
Anytime I'm going to see a child leave to learn magic when they weren't expecting it, I think of that. And I'm sure there's some older thing
that totally makes sense.
But in a nicer, more newer, more queer-friendly reference, which almost... I don't actually know. I guess it could have actually inspired it from this. And I'm sure other things used magic systems like this, but this is exactly how the magic works, or I guess for one character... the magic works in the Disney animated show The Owl House. Is Luz goes to she gets isekai'd, Brad. You love that.
I know, we've talked about
There was two isekais at that time. I know, but it's been a long time because the show's been dead. And Diana Taurasi's new show with Glitch just had her trailer put out at the time of recording, which is going to really look old by the time this comes out because of multiple reasons. But the big thing with that one is that everybody who is born there has this special extra organ that lets them cast magic, and she doesn't have that, but she learns the sigils of the magic, so she draws those. And it's that very same thing of I drew a thing, and when I tap it, the light comes out. And it's that's the first spell Coco does, and it was like, oh my gosh, Owl House. I wonder if either both of those were inspired by something else, or which feels right because I feel like this. There's no way this is the first thing that came up with like a drawn shape spell. Because I mean, not even specifically like a Alchemist Brothers Iron. Why am I blanking? Full Metal Alchemist.
There
Full
you
Metal
go.
Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist.
But it's that idea of like the summoning circle as like a magic thing.
Yeah.
So and not that they cribbed from that, but all of them I think are cribbing from quote unquote actual magic and quote unquote reality.
Yeah. I've seen
the idea of
lots of
sigils.
series do the drawing is the way to do
that.
stuff.
I'm a sucker for that. I'm a sucker for very somatic-y things, and art, especially sigils, are very fun.
One of my favorite series that I'm blanking on the name of right now subverted that really well because the isekai person who comes in and starts learning about magic is like, wait a minute, why don't you just put multiple of these on top of each other and like revolutionize the magic system?
What was the one? Was that Faraway Paladin that had the like language one? Or no? Okay, that was like
words of power, basically. Yeah.
That they could like speak multiple ones at once, or like one thing would talk while another thing like their sword hadn't written. I don't remember what it was exactly, but like I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like art stuff. I like that it being drawn like it's both. It's not just it's drawn in a pen, but that pen had special ink. So it's the special ink, and it's the sigil being drawn together.
Oh, did it have special ink?
Yeah, because I think so, because I think Keyfree makes a mention of it, and when she originally is telling her mom when she bought the book, she goes, and I got a pen with ink in it. Like, she specifically mentioned the pen having ink.
No, it's a magic wand. I don't think she found out that it was a pen until later.
No, she says it's a pen then. She goes, I also got a pen. I 100% know
the
that
guy,
is what happened.
when he gives it to her, says, this is a magic wand.
I mean, yes, but I mean, maybe, but when she shows her mom and her mom is disappointed that she spent her money that she gave her to buy a snack on a book, she goes, I also got a pen.
Okay.
And she mentions it having ink, which leads me to believe that because this is a strange wizard selling the what you think is what she describes as a children's book is,
right,
but is a spell book that people aren't supposed to know about, which is why Keyfree is so curious about it. So,
when did you figure out that Keyfree was a witch?
Literally moment one.
Okay.
He's such a witch ass fuck.
Yeah.
And I love him dearly. Not that anything ever needs a live action version, but I have an NB friend who would literally be perfect to play them, I think. I read this a little bit ago, so I wanted to make sure I remembered it when I was reading it. Because it's like sometimes when you read something, you get annoyed at something in the moment, and time passes, and it's like you generally like it more than you didn't like it. So like the part that rubbed you the wrong way in the moment kind of fades, but I wanted to make sure I kept that in my brain. Coco frustrated me.
Okay.
In that everything was so wonderfully storybook, and she has like big zany anime reactions to things, and I didn't like that. It took me out of the warm storybook feel.
That's interesting.
And I think it's literally just the way that it is drawn. She can have those moments of doubt and express it, but I just don't like the big movement, shaking head, no. Like, and it's just like, that's not the vibe the rest of it's giving me, and that grated on me because it just felt like it was trying to play for comedy it didn't need. I
guess I would need to read more chapters and see what they do with that after they like do some time skip and stuff like that, because that, to me, I didn't really even take notice of that because I went, she's a young child.
Yeah, no, it's not that she was freaking out. It just tonally, where everything else just feels so like, I'm reading a European storybook, and that just felt so more modern and thus to me out of place. Like it was a little bit of a tonal cold shower in those moments that I didn't like. I don't think it was necessarily bad. Like I don't like, it's not like, oh, Coco freaking out because she's like, it's like the whole thing of like, oh, this is when Keyfree goes like, oh, this is like real magic, because all the cutting is like, because she's very dutiful when she's putting things together, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool way to look back on that and go, that's what he meant. But and I think they're like, I like that her character, she's like, no, this isn't magic. Like, I would love to do magic. This isn't that. Magic is so much more beautiful than what I do. And it's like, as somebody who makes art, it's like, I feel that sometimes where it's like, what you guys make is magic. I'm just putting things together. I think it was just literally the way it was depicted over a couple things where it seemed like it was being played for kind of the hyperness of it played up for comedy, and I didn't like that. And I'd be curious how the anime would handle that. Again, I think this wouldn't work as well as an anime unless the budget was insane, just because like the art style is doing so much, feels so important to the tone of it.
Yeah.
It gives me big, especially Keyfree's design. I get big Dark Souls Bloodborne energy from it a little bit. There's like a certain sort of like rustic fantasy to it. Maybe not as much darkness, but like I'm transported to like the big, maybe not as scary, like witches or wizards college from Bloodborne or something, or some of the other like the witch hat. It's just like a certain, again, I don't think it's intentional, but like that's where my brain
No, I think I
went, and I
get what you're saying.
It gave the fantasy a texture and a crunchiness that I really liked, which is not normally fantasy like this. Doesn't really do much for me, but something in this case was just like, I don't know, this is just scratching an itch I really liked. I think that's why the tonal little moments in that was like kind of frustrating.
There's a couple other series that I read that have a similar art style to this. Not as refined as this one is. This is by far the best that I've seen of this style.
Yeah.
It's sort of hard to call it a style, but it's like there's definitely some style to it. But yeah, when you say that, I can definitely see it. And I think those other series that I'm thinking of lend themselves more to that because they are more rough around the edges.
Yeah, but I like it. I like it here. It's fun sometimes to see an art style vibe in a different tone, which I still think it works because I think it lends to a danger that may or may not be lurking, honestly. But it already feels like it has that sort of more like grim fairy tale thing of it. It's like you bit off more than you can chew, and now your mother's turned into a crystal.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of harsher consequences, which it's like, it hurts more, but it's like, yeah, I kind of miss this. We've kind of chillax on that a little bit. And I think there is something to the more, but maybe that's just because now I'm used to soft and I want to go back to hard.
Well, that's the
just
thing.
How the cycle works.
I don't want it to be.
I don't want it to be too brutal all the time.
Yeah, all the
time. But I like
time.
little moments. Like I like it. It's just like, don't forget, this is a dangerous world.
Right.
Like it reminds you. Like I don't want it to
Reminders,
be
yeah.
pessimistic, but it's like everything, every stake, all the stakes mean more now because we've been shown. Choices have consequences.
I don't want to wallow.
No. I do not want to wallow, but I want to be like very much the like, you messed up. Now your mom's a crystal, kind of thing. But yeah, I don't want it to be that dark. I don't want.
You don't want a dark
Berserk,
crystal.
But like, yeah, I love Dark Crystal. Wait, no, Dark Crystal's fine. I should probably watch it again. I prefer Labyrinth when we're talking about those two. Much prefer Labyrinth. I was about to have a 7. Can you imagine David Bowie in manga? But David Bowie's been in manga for many decades, so multiple times, at least in the case of JoJo. There's many Bowies. Story, art. I feel like the majority of our time is going to be spent at the school. You kind of batted at earlier, hinted at like a time skip. Do you think there'll be a time skip? Like I feel like her learning is going to be the crux of this. Secret extension to Craftworks arc. This is a couple episodes after that ended, so it's not going to feel like that.
I don't think it's going to be a huge time skip, but I think it'll be. I mean, from her perspective, it might be a couple years, but I don't because I think she's
Do you think that's going to happen pretty much right when we get to chapter 2? Because I feel like
maybe
because I feel like right now it's like we are so primed of. We don't know how this magic works, and she doesn't really know, and we learn with her. That's the whole point of having a protagonist that doesn't know things.
Well, we have to get to the Atelier quickly.
Yeah, they're going to get in the Griffin. Or I guess he flew back then?
Yeah. No, okay, this is really cool, and you didn't mention this as summary. So he grabs her as the spell is starting to go off.
Yeah, that art of that is really cool.
Jumps out the window with her.
Yes.
And they're on like the second or third story or whatever. And he like snaps his feet together, which completes a magic circle that's drawn on the bottom of his feet.
That's rad!
And that allows him to fly.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Damn.
And brilliant too. Of like, oh yeah, if the magic circle isn't complete, it doesn't do anything. How do you activate something when you need it to activate?
What if you made an actual electric circuit that when you put your shoes together, they would light up because they completed the circuit between the two of them? That would be cool. Man, that's rad. Yo, this series rules. I'm excited about this series.
So yeah, anyway, I think probably what is going to happen is either within the second or third chapter, somewhere in there, they will do a, 2 years later, and now she's like actually she's figured all this stuff out.
I think we're gonna spend more time in this. Hey, we haven't decided which series we're gonna reload yet because I haven't read them all at this point in time because we're doing this. We're recording this part more piecemeal because of other things going on. I would say I think if we read the first volume, I don't think there would be a big time skip. I think settling in at the school is going to be and meeting all the classmates. Like I feel like because otherwise you're just going to be a witch and doing witch things. But I am always somebody who loves the joy of discovery. You don't have to write it down. We don't know. But I would make the argument, at least to that first one, that we would stick in because that is leaving too much juicy, delicious storytelling on the table where we get to learn a bunch of stuff and figure things out and see other magic in the world. And if we do a time skip, we don't get to do none of that.
I think all of these are on K-Manga. If whichever one of these we pick, we're going to have to actually put money down.
Unless we pick, was it Heart Gear? Heart Gear's on the Viz app. Or Heart Gear's on the Shonen Jump app. I just saw it when we're... Oh, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe they're all in K-Manga. I don't know. We're going to have to figure that out when we get there. I don't like it, but we're going to figure it out. I know, right?
How do we decide, though?
We have to read them all first, dingus. That's
but
how it
we're
works.
Recording this right now.
Yeah, maybe we'll come back to it then. We don't know. This is an experiment where we don't know.
But if we have to come back to it, then we don't have guesses.
Then we'll have to ride with that. That's why I put these down at the very least. Because we normally have to guess what happens next, so... I think it's going to be there. I think she's going to have her dorm. Like, I am taking from a slightly higher art version of the Harry Potter approach in the same vein that Mashal pulled from that, in the same vein that another thing I can't remember pulled from that I know we've read at least in Jump, and I know this isn't Jump, but like, Wise Wizarding Wisdom's Beast,
yeah.
the hot furry boys that we want to see kiss.
Do you know that she goes to school?
Why wouldn't she? It just feels so obvious. She has to learn. Because she said, do you have the will to study?
She can be an apprentice.
Oh, do you think she's just going to apprentice?
I don't know that they have a school because witches are so secretive.
Yeah, they have a secret school. Hogwarts is supposed to be a secret school.
Right, but like also there's thousands and thousands of witches.
Well, in this world, there's only one secret school, and they're very secretive. Okay. This is like the Witchers, the Wizard Academy that's in Elden Ring that you find that like mortals can't get into.
Well, my guess is that there's no
hidden.
School.
There's a big spell, and it's hidden. It's a big specialized academy. I don't want it to just be Keyfree and her going on little adventures as she learns things at his workshop. I want a school.
Well, I think that's what it is.
What?
I think that's what it is.
School is also a workshop. It's the place because it's like freaking the Jujutsu Kaisen place where it's like the students are here, but also the other people live here that have the high level things, but you'll never see them because we don't care. Except I care, but we don't care. The manga artist didn't care. But yeah, no. So I'm gonna say it's a school. No time skip in that first volume. That's my cast lot if we come back to this one.
And mine are the opposite.
Workshop, time skip, lame answers, bad storytelling, money left on the table. I want more of the art I want the art to not slip, and I want her big freakouts to chillax. I don't want them to be like they are. I want them to be a little bit more non-comedy feeling.
I don't mind any of that, so.
Yeah. That's how it would be. That's fine.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts before we get to conclusions?
I do want to see more of the cool magic stuff, like the
shoes.
Sigil on the bottom of his shoes. Because as soon as that happened, I was like, oh yeah, you could do so much cool stuff.
If they're already thinking of that as a chapter one, as long as they don't drop that ball.
The only other thing that we see besides her, poor attempt at doing it is the magic carriage one, and that's like a really big one that he takes a long time to...
We're told... Or do you mean like literally seeing the sigils, or do you just mean knowing of magic in general? Because we're told of a lot of other magic that we don't really see by virtue of we can't see movement.
The sigils, but more so like the interesting ways that you can use those
Because they describe that the rocks light up when they walk on them at the castle.
Yeah.
Which is also feels like that very like stepping on it completes the circuit and the magic flows through it.
That, or like there is a sigil drawn on the bottom of the brick before it's placed.
Yeah.
And so then the brick has the sigil of pressure sensitivity and also light emission.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, it's not so much what the sigils do as the interesting ways in which you can use.
Yeah, and I think this is planted enough seeds in this first chapter amidst everything else it was doing that.
Because that's the thing. I think the magic that's on the bottom of his shoes, and I didn't look closely enough, but I think the magic on the bottom of his shoes is the same sigil as is on the carriage.
I mean,
It's just
I
a
gotta
size
go back and really
difference.
stare at these things more because I clearly
Because
missed a lot of little drawing details then.
The thing on the carriage is the flotation sigil, and I think that's what he has on his shoes too.
Now I'm excited to reread this first chapter and
Yeah.
maybe read some more for my own self, or maybe we reload. I
And
don't know.
maybe he's a flotation expert.
Maybe he's a flying guy.
Maybe he knows that sigil really, really well, and that's why he's able
that's
to
what he specializes in.
fix the carriage right there out in the middle of nowhere.
Because he can redraw the sigil on it that
Yeah.
got busted. I just assume he had like a fix it spell. I wasn't thinking about it like that. Neat. This is great details. Even with my gripe, I both think and feel this is great.
Yeah.
Bordering on fantastic. Like it's just so like I haven't read anything else that's like this visually that's doing a lot of there's I was already having a good time and you've described a bunch of details that are like this homie's thinking and drawing things. And I'm excited to see what's next. My mind is percolating.
I was at amazing for my feeling. But and this isn't bad, and this is just a me thing. So, take this with a grain of salt, grain of sand, grain of salt,
Grain of salsa.
whatever. I'm down to great, and it's just my own thing because as she was exploring the sigils in the book and everything, I was like getting amped up and everything. And then her mom turned to Crystal and I got sad and it wasn't what I wanted.
Boo-hoo, a story troubled you a little bit emotionally. Boo-hoo, I read my isekais where nothing ever goes wrong and I have a huge dick and I fuck all the ladies and my sword's bigger and I cut the dragon in one hit because I can't be struggled at all.
God forbid I'd be open and honest.
Take in media, be challenged, feel emotions. It's great. It's
I
human.
did.
Yeah.
I did.
And you don't like the series because of it.
No.
You got your feelings hurt.
Yes.
You literally said you were feeling fantastic until that happened. It literally changed how you felt about it, and
Yes.
it became worse.
Which is why I said this is just me.
Yeah.
It's not indicative of the series.
Yeah.
But it affected me.
Yes, that's good.
It hurt
good
me.
Storytelling.
Yes. But that's I wasn't prepared.
Goodness.
It's not a problem with the series. It's a problem with me.
I was born with glass bones and paper skin.
Yeah. No, I developed that over time.
A weakness.
Yeah.
A vulnerability.
Don't have kids.
No, I'm you're right. No, you're right. I'm sorry.
I am right. Don't have kids.
Not what I meant, but okay.
But yeah, great. It's great.
Would you buy?
It's great. I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep reading this. So, by the very nature of how you can get this, yes, I'm going to. I might want to own this.
I might buy this
Here's the
physically
thing.
because the art is so beautiful, and if the art looks good in the book, it's like we could just take a bop over to Barnes & Noble, and I would pick this up in a heartbeat.
This is definitely the kind of thing where I would probably want to own this just because of its nature as like a picture book.
Would Ben read this?
Probably.
Okay.
I don't know if he'd like it quite as much as we do, but I think he would enjoy it.
He might be. He could. If I feel like if we had it physically, we could entreat him more with it than not.
The thing is, I'm going to read it on K-Manga, and I don't think I would want to purchase it twice.
That's why I would just want to buy a physical.
And I think that's
first
fair.
volume because I want to read more regardless if we return to it for the podcast or not, and then that would be two birds, one stone, and then I don't have to mess with K-Manga.
I don't think this rises to the. I mean, having read the first chapter, I don't think this would rise to the level of like Akane Banashi, where it's like, I pay monthly to read this, but also I'm going to buy the physical volumes because it's that good.
I feel like I would need more before I did that.
Yeah.
obviously.
Which is what
honestly,
happened with the Kana Menashe.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know. So, yeah.
yeah. I'm going to have to go with, I'm going to pay to read this, but I'm currently not
the
going.
form of which that will take will be seen.
I'm currently not planning to buy it physically.
I think in the vein of originally I was going to do it with Bugle Call until Bugle Call got put on the Shonen Jump app, and then I was like, I'd be stupid not to just read it there. I would pay money to read this just because the art is so beautiful and it's fun to have that physically in your hands. And I'm sure or I could check the library. This might be one the library has maybe. So this is a physical read for me. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We'll see. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. Another last Democracy arc covered.
Is it the end of the episode?
Thumbs up.
What if it's not?
Or maybe not. We're gonna have to do the outro anyway because we don't know. This is because of the way we're doing this, and thanks Jump, this is gonna be spread out. So maybe all of this will be cut, and you'll just be listening to the next part here. And then I'm gonna do that gag again. Brad, draw the sigils.
Well, as always, we need to thank Sequoia Mart for partnering with us. Sequoia Mart's a retailer of Japanese snacks, drinks, toys, and merch. All kinds of cool stuff you can't get outside Japan. Our listeners can click the link in the description or use code APR15 at checkout to get 15% off their first order. And we want to hear from you. So check out our social media links on our website, animepodcasterreincarnation.com. You can leave comments up there on these podcast episode posts, and there's also other posts up there. So check that out. The best place to chat with us is on our Discord, which you can find a link for up there. And, our Discord's a lot of fun. We got a lot of fun conversations going on there.
Come talk to us. We look at it a bunch.
You can also find a link up there to our Patreon, where our supporters get perks like getting bonus episodes, getting the high-quality stereo version of the podcast early, and also getting to vote on what we cover on heroin addiction.
And sometimes, like this very arc, what we cover here, I have a really stupid arc for next year where you guys are going to get to vote on stuff. So make sure you're a part of our Patreon. Paid or not, you'll be able to vote. So make sure you get on there.
And of course, we have to shout out our patrons. So first and foremost, at our noble tier, we have our marquee, Sir Cake Dwarf. Also at our noble tier, we have our Count Imaginary Numeral.
I wanted to do something else. I'm trying to think of what's the. It's the Dies Irae. It's the da 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 da.
Okay.
Making Christmas.
Dun, dun, dun.
Da da da. What's this? It's Christmas everywhere. And this.
At our Reincarnator tier, we've got Moon. And last, and certainly not least, at our commoner tier, we have Laura Carroll, Last Man on Earth, and Rena. So thank you so much to all our patrons.
We should have an Atelier tier just because that's fun to say. But no. Thank you, Brad, for that. Thank you, all our patrons. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Make sure you listen to all the podcasts on our feed. And Brad, I've figured out sigil magic. I've put an echo effect on my microphone. Get ready for this. The end!
Here's the video. How to pronounce Atelier correctly.
Give me the French one. Just say the fucking word, bitch! Just say it! Atelier. That sounds so much better when you hear it with the French accent. Gross. Atelier. Atelier. Give me the French one again. Atelier. Witch Hat Atelier. Which is a workshop or studio, especially one used by an artist or a designer, which makes sense.
Witch Hat Atelier.
It's got like it's got the warm story. It's got like the art is very warm storybook. but I don't know what my lean-in words are.
Put on your cloak and witch's hat.
I already had that. That's literally already my opening gag. Otherwise, I would use that. Literally, welcome everybody. I put on my cloak and witch hat. But yeah, that was like already done, settled.
I think they got the point.
My wand is a pen.
Well, that's because the witch's hats are pointy.
Yes. Somebody, I'm gonna stop. Is it just like on today's episode? Open up your storybook. It's Witch Hat Atelier.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
On today's episode, A Tale of Magic and Ink. This is Witch Hat Atelier.
I like that better.
Because it's like I have the gags are in the the gag references are in the intro, and this feels like it deserves like a warm thing.
Yeah, even though you're going to start off the episode with a joke.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. The jokes are there, but this opening crawl for the vibe, I want to give it that. So
yeah,
cool. I'm gonna go for that again. On when you're not wiping your face, it's picking up on the microphones, is what I'm saying. Sorry, you can wipe your face in a second when I'm done.
Do you know that not a single person has commented on my new glasses?
I need to see them now. I'm not the human to do it then. How many humans do you see outside your household consistently?
Let's see. I'm going to say in the ballpark of at least 15 people have not noticed.
Okay.
15 people who I see regularly.
Clearly I'm one of those humans.
Yeah.
I would have to see the other one.
Well, that's because you've seen these for 3 weeks now.
I had a moment. Oh, really?
Yeah.
All the more reason. I had a moment where I went to therapy and went, "Is that art new?" And they went, "No, that's been there the whole time you've been here." And I went, "Oh,
that's been here the whole time."
I'm very easily gaslightable. It seems. I think something else had changed in the room, and that was why. That's my only feelings. It was just like, why did this feel different? She's cleaning pans. Why? What was I writing? I have written, she's cleaning pans in the deer. Wrong. Why did you type that? The nobles are furious, but the strange man offers his service. Servius. Oh boy, another name I have to say that I don't know how to say. And then in post, you'll put a...
I don't think I need to.
I'll put a big... but I want the big, like, Fuzro Da, like... like it's, like, fading off into the distance.
That was really loud, though. I think
exactly. I know. Give it a little extra sweet, but otherwise that was the gag I came up with.